Okay. So I'm gonna throw a term at you, and
Yes, sir.
you give me what you think it means. Public servant. What does that mean to you? Like not the Webster definition, but what does that mean to you?
There's a program I took at Morehouse called Servant Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I like Martin Luther King, being a servant. Because you got to be able to give, be the voice for your community, give to your community. Nowadays people are about themselves, and we've got to get away from that because the community is challenging. With crimes and heartaches and poverty issues. We've got to get away from that negativity. So we got to give back to our community and make it better.
Okay, so I know you're running for city council a
Yes.
third term. You've been in that 2 terms, and I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that can be very stressing.
Oh, boy,
learning
yes.
about politics and seeing what goes on. So, what motivates you, and why are you running for a third term?
Again, the last election we saw where people came in, we thought a person was going to win and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and I was pushing them to run because everything was at stake for our community. Because the city, the city projects, our schools, all the things, people don't realize all the things are at stake. The person you appoint for a school board, they're appointed by city council members. So you got to make sure you have that voice. And I feel like we have made so much progress. I did not want to go back. We're not going back. I don't want to go back to my community and say, I failed. I want to make sure we continue to go forward. So to continue to have that voice, because that voice they were trying to eliminate that voice. So I want to do what I could to make sure I had that seat at the table. That's why I'm running the third term. I don't want to give up this seat because my community needs a voice. That's the concern about them and not a voice of others, but a voice of the inner city parts of our community.
Gotcha. Great answer. So you being on there already 2 terms, running for third, what are some of your biggest accomplishments that you would like the audience to know?
So many accomplishments. I appreciate the opportunity to build like Heritage High School, to be a part of that conversation. Sandusky Middle School, building schools for our children. Even having different partnerships with our community policing and our community 911 officials, 911 operators, and firefighters. Being at that table, help get increased wages for them and other city workers. City workers work so hard. You may be home in a snowstorm. City workers are still out there working for the snow or whatever the case may be. So again, making sure our city staffs are better compensated. Make sure we have a new police department because the last one was just horrible. So being at the table where we can help build a new police department. Make sure right now it's a hard time trying to get firefighters and police officers in that nature. So make sure they have well compensated wages, at least for the market in this area have some of the highest wages. So I continue to do that. When I was on the school board, my goal was to make sure our teachers had some of the highest wages, in which we did when we did salary time. Our teachers at that time had the highest wages. So again, now I'm on city council. I'm looking at that side to make sure our police, fire, 911 operators, that they have some of the highest wages in this particular area.
Gotcha. So what skill sets or perspectives do you bring to the table that make you different from your other candidates?
One thing, I have tried to narrow my skill sets. I have a degree in accounting. That's number one, because I've been an internal auditor for 10 years. I have in government accounting, so I have a degree in accounting. My master's in counseling and work with people on a day-to-day basis. My doctorate in education leadership, again, makes me more well-rounded in the education realm, but also in the business realm. So I've done additional work at Harvard, also at Morehouse, also at the University of Virginia, the Darden School of Business. So again, I have skills that have kind of been fine-tuned by the academic media, academic outlets. And also, because of Jubilee, I have about 30 plus partners that I work with. So any partnership that I have or work with, like for example, a gentleman came in to Jubilee because he wanted us to buy some property, some land near James Crossing. I knew I didn't really need to buy any land, but I said, I work with the Lighthouse. Let me call the Lighthouse the Beloved Community. So I connected those two groups together. Now the Beloved Community is building like 40 houses starting next year in that area next past James Crossing. Again, because of connections, because of partnerships. So using my partnerships, the network that I have to benefit the citizens of Ward 2 and the citizens in all of Lynchburg.
Okay, so when you say Ward 2 and Ward 1, and could you break down what a ward is and how many wards there are in Lynchburg?
Yes, so there are 4 wards in our community, and that's spread all out. Each one has about 16,000 or so. We just we adjusted about 2 years ago, so they're kind of scattered all over the city. So, like for example, I'm in Ward 2. Ward 2 goes from where Garland Rose or Riverside Park is to come back around to the Riverman Avenue downtown area to like where Lynchburg General is, the area. Then Ward 3, Ward 1 goes from Easy Glass, or not really Easy Glass, goes from Garland Rose, Riverside Park the other way to the Boonesboro Way. Mm-hmm. That's Ward 1, goes all the way down Langhorne Road, the area, the back of that portion. And then Ward 3 kind of goes from like the stadium, the Liberty, that piece of Ward 3 of the area. Ward 4 kind of goes to the other side of the stadium, the other side of Fort Avenue, mm-hmm. and wraps around and butts against Ward 1. So it's all scattered throughout our whole city. And since like the 1970s, when they created the ward system, they kind of created Ward 2, kind of be more like the inner city, would make sure the African-American community had a voice, so that would make one of the stronger communities for the African-American community to have a voice.
Okay. All right. So what do you think some of the most pressing issues for your ward, for Ward 2?
Some of the main issues are crime and poverty. Those issues we continue to have challenges with, so we continue to bring resources to the table to address those issues. That every day we had 8 murders, I think this year. It's mm-hmm. like 4 in one weekend, which is horrible for Lynchburg and crazy.
Yeah.
But some of them weren't only I think one was in Ward 2, but 2 was in Ward 2. One was in Ward 2, excuse me. The others are different wards. But again, we still had some challenges in Ward 2. So again, we've got to all work with the community to address poverty, to address crime. We got to do that, address violence. So with my Jubilee hat, having the partners and make sure people get better wages. So we have career programs from nurses aid to PCA classes to cybersecurity classes, just doing career areas that give people better wages. So using the network, the community, the Jubilee Center to form partnerships so we can get people better wages. Work with our police department and the one community, one voice. So the community is the community policing. So people aren't so afraid of the police department. Mm-hmm. So they come to monthly meetings and ask police and firefighters those kind of questions. And then go into the community and have cookouts and build partnerships and like doing the Toys for Tots or the trunk or treat thing. Mm-hmm. So just making sure the police and the firefighters out there, the community, building relationships with our citizens.
Gotcha. When you speak about the citizens, especially the youth, how do you think education plays a role in what we're seeing with the violence and how that can affect the different wards in the communities?
One thing the Bible says, our people perish for lack of knowledge. And just sometimes people don't have the knowledge about all the dangers of weapons. Sometimes I think they think maybe whether it might be a video game or maybe listen to a certain music and might say, oh, this is okay to do this. I'm gonna have me a gun and be strapped or whatever. Mm-hmm. We gotta make sure people are educated. Yeah. That's why we do a mentoring program on second and fourth Saturdays here at Jubilee. Now for over 30 years, I've been doing that program, talking to young men, being a male role model, a mentor for them, talking to them about education, talking to them about their goals. You don't have to go to 4-year college. You go to a technical school, you get certifications, come on making more than the person with a doctorate degree. I'm an example of that. So again, making sure people have the resources to excel and stressing the point of education is crucial. Education is key.